Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mind Over Mic podcast. Thanks so much for joining me on another episode of the show. I'm very excited to reveal this new episode with you. Today's guest is a wonderful friend of mine. He and I have known each other for a number of years now, and we've worked together on a few different events at his business. He's a great guy, and he talks a lot in this episode about his journey from full-time and steady employment to chasing his dreams, finding something new, starting his own business, raising a family at a later age in life, and finding his way in the world. I think that Spence is a very honest human, and I think that this conversation is nothing if not honest and informative for me, because I'll be honest with you, I knew nothing about craft beer going into this conversation, but I do think that I learned a lot about both his business and himself as a human being. We talk a little about music, a little about his childhood, and most importantly, about his dedication to his business, Cascade Draft House, located in Bristol, Tennessee. This is a really fun one. Please enjoy this episode with the wonderful Mr. Spence Flagg. The business owner thing is so interesting to me because I feel like you all the ones I've had in here at least, and maybe I've just been lucky, knock on wood. Everyone that I've had in here has had so much to share about not only like operating the business and staying afloat and all those things. I think that's interesting to people, but what's very interesting to me is like, here's where you are now. Tell me where you started.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think people like to think, Cascade's always been successful.
To me, entrepreneurship, kind of like comedy, it's a muscle.
Yes.
And if you don't have, and I don't think a lot of, some people have it naturally, but I had to work for it. It's not, I didn't major in business in college. I worked as construction inspector for 15 years out of college and worked for the state of Tennessee and Virginia. So my mind really wasn't acting that way, but I was traveling and I had a son, so I wanted something to bring me back. I knew that there was no place around here that had craft beer like what I wanted to do. There's plenty of breweries, but nobody doing what I needed.
Right.
I knew I couldn't be the only one that wanted to do it, but so I put together a business plan. And I'm chatting with my wife, and she's made me put it all to paper. Can be an idea. I'm gonna do it this way. So took some classes through the entrepreneur program with Believe in Bristol downtown, and chatted with other entrepreneurs that were kind of in the same boat, and just been figuring it. I'm still figuring it out.
Sure.
People ask advice. I'll get emails asking advice of somebody to open another tap room around here, and I will give all the advice I have. I sometimes feel like it's imposter syndrome because I'm still learning. There's stuff I'm still figuring out.
You mentioned, so pretty often on the show, just because stand-up is my world, I try to relate, whatever the guest feels to stand. You're dead on the money on that one. It's like, because I'm in the position now with Don't Tell and stuff where occasionally newer comics to the scene will ask me for advice, and I'm like, I don't know. Why are you asking me? I just go, here's what I did that didn't work. And then here's what I did that I think kind of maybe worked. But who knows if that fits you? That's a tough thing, giving advice.
I'm still definitely learning. We found a groove, and so it's a lot of unexpected. Of course, COVID hit 4 months after we opened.
Okay, so
Did
you
guys
opened
have COVID where you
2019.
were?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was in Bristol. We had it. Don't worry. Sort of. We semi.
You've heard of it.
Yeah, it was around.
Okay.
There was rumors. We didn't really do much. I think there was 2 weeks where my family took it real serious, and then we loosened up pretty quick.
There was building up. I could feel it building in December and January. Yeah. Where socially I was starting to feel guilty for even being open.
Sure.
Whether it's somebody telling me that why are you still open? You need to put partitions up. I can't believe that they're not emergency.
That's crazy that we all lived through that, isn't it? It feels like a story now. Yeah. But like my niece is going to be 8 in April, so she's born in 2019 or 18. So her earliest memories are like people in masks, plexiglass
I think
everywhere.
it's forever changed some people.
I think we don't know quite yet what an impact that made on her generation. It's so strange.
It almost became like an accessory, a clothing, a fashion accessory.
They didn't see people's lower half of their face for years when they were first born.
Yeah, that's good.
It's crazy.
It's unfortunate.
But on the business side, I mean, that's a pretty huge hurdle right out the gate.
Real quick.
Right at the beginning.
There's a lot of things to overcome. Worked with the city to get delivery package so people could get stuff to go. And we could bring it to them.
Yeah.
It got my employees were making more at home than they were working. So we shut down for about a month and a half, got things figured out, then opened back up for delivery, and it was just me. And then we opened full time 7 days a week, like June 7th or 10th, 2020, and we've been open 7 days a week.
Wow.
The only days we're not closed are Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's a crazy schedule in general, but to do that when the world is so chaotic and nobody knows. Did you find that any of your customers or regular people considered that like that's a huge plus to have that comfort in that third place?
It's really, as the years go on, it has really became a part of the community. It's not just a beer bar. It's not just a bar. It's really a place that people celebrate. We had a 1-year-old birthday party there this weekend.
Wow.
We've had people meet and get married and have kids that have met there now.
Yeah.
So it's real special.
That is special.
Whether it's celebrating a divorce. There's a guy that's on oxygen right now. We're playing. He's told me there's a budget for my funeral. It's going to be a party. So that stuff just doesn't get lost on me.
That's important too. That it sinks into you.
And during the COVID times, we weren't Walgreens, we weren't Kroger, Food City. You didn't have to be there.
Yep.
So if you were there on your own free will and here to have fun and here to kind of escape for a little while and laugh and show your smile.
Yeah. Or just see people that familiarity. A lot of the businesses I've had on are more retail based. It's not as you're a unique one for the show in that like people hang out there. Most of my other ones are like I had my friend Cam on. He owns an antique store, or my friend Laura owns a general store. My friend Allie owns a yoga studio. So it's like they all have their own clientele. But I feel like Cascade is a very unique one for me in that like. I mean, I've been in there thousands of times over the years, and we've done shows there. We've done I think it's such a communal space.
It really is.
And there's probably people you see all the time.
With the musicians, they have a community there. We've had comedians that have made a home there and became friends. There's Run Club that has a community there. They became friends. There's people that tell me they come to Cascade that don't go to bars.
Yeah.
Or their spouse doesn't like them to go to bars, but Cascade's okay.
There's
people that bring their kid. Like I would never bring my kid to the brewery, but bring him here. I'm honored.
That's huge. Yeah. And it's definitely
what I wanted. It's the vibe that I wanted, a family-friendly craft beer
So when
bar.
you set out in 2020, you have this vision. Did you ever foresee the level and the embracing that you felt from the community? Did you see that happening?
No, it's crazy. Like I got told somebody loved me 3 times when I was bartending last week.
That's incredible.
I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah.
But
it feels special.
I mean, I knew what I wanted to do, as in the craft beer bar, but I didn't know how special it was going to be to people, and the community, and just it definitely been embraced, and thankful to be around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think there's something special too in like, you mentioned starting out, it was something you wanted to do. It wasn't, you didn't go, what would make me a lot of money?
That's right.
Yeah. That's not ever going to work for people. That's one thing I find with comedian, business owner, psychologist, whoever's on the show. It's like, do what's truly for you and others will embrace it.
If I'm quitting my job to start a business, I don't want to be miserable at this business.
Oh my gosh.
And, I would much rather be giving people a cheers and a pat on the back and a thank you and a smile and talking to interesting people like yourself and musicians and I don't want to be crawling under crawl spaces or digging ditches if I'm doing it.
I was going to say, coming from construction to that must have been scary too.
I was ready to make a move. And like you said, I saw a need here. I knew that I couldn't be the only one that wanted this. And and to me, it's the next progression. You've got so many breweries.
Right.
The next progression is a draft house.
You and I talked one time years ago, actually, about that State Street community and dynamic. And I think there's a healthy balance in any business between competition and camaraderie and all these things. I think talk to me a little about what it's been like just on State Street, because I think that's so. I'm from Bristol, but I've never had the opportunity to actually sit down with a Bristol business owner.
Downtown Bristol, it's seen its ebbs and flows. So
Yeah.
It's, but we are on an upswing, and I always like to say my competition are my friends. They're in my phone. I call them. We have somebody that's in from New York or Iowa or Hawaii, and we're sending them down the road to go eat. I can text that owner and say, hey, they've got a couple coming in, pretty interesting. Send them down there. To give them a dessert on me or whatever. Like it's not a competition. I want people to come downtown and go to 3 or 4 places. Make a night out of it. Get a babysitter. Go see a show. We've got three theaters downtown.
Right.
Theater Bristol, Paramount, and Cameo.
Yeah.
It's all walkable. It's very nice.
Yeah.
A lot of and we've got a story to be told with it. It's two states. That's cool. Birthplace of country music.
Yeah.
We've got NASCAR. We've got the lakes, rivers, streams, bike trails.
So much.
I mean, there's a lot of people retire here for our fishing.
Yeah.
It's
so
a lot of interesting people around the town, people passing through.
Oh yeah.
That was another thing. I realized that I'm in the tourist industry. I didn't really realize I was going to be getting into the tourist industry like I did, or like I am.
Right.
It's really,
that's a whole nother layer to it. And I think, I grew up right on the tip of Anderson Street, right before the Parkway. So just across the Parkway from where you're at. And I remember as a kid, walking down to see the truck parade come in for the race. I remember certain Main Street festivals or music things. I don't remember anything quite like what goes on down there now. Sometimes when I go to events downtown, I'm walking around going, this is unbelievable. And my girlfriend is not from here. She's from Asheville. So when she goes, she's like, man, Bristol's awesome. And I go, really it is now. Yeah. It is so much bigger now.
We're seeing a lot of people moving back.
Yes.
Because it is something special. It is something, people that... I've seen people from Minnesota and Phoenix and Colorado come and visit here, and they now live here.
Yeah, it's so
crazy. Fallen in love. It's natural. It sells itself.
Yeah. Did you grow up around here at all?
I didn't.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I hope you're enjoying this episode with Spence Flagg. Real quick, I do want to tell you about 2 important dates coming up for Don't Tell Tri-Cities. The first one is this Saturday. That's February the 7th, this Saturday. I've got a wonderful lineup coming to downtown Johnson City, Tennessee at a brand spanking new venue. So we're very excited for the opportunity to be in a new space. I hope you can join us this Saturday the 7th. Next up is a very special announcement for February the 28th. That's a Saturday as well. And on February the 28th, we are going to be putting on one hell of a show in Kingsport, Tennessee. This show is going to feature a brand new venue, the one and only Net Pro Studios. It is a large gym with a wrestling ring smack dab in the middle of it. That's going to seat about 300 people in the crowd, completely in the round, with a stellar lineup of some of the best comics in the Southeast. Kind of like a greatest hits lineup from past Don't Tells. We're very excited to share the space with the awesome team over at Net Pro. So you're hearing it here first. Tickets are on sale now for both of these events, so grab them while you can. We're trying to sell out 300 seats on Saturday the 28th. Now back to the episode.
I'm from Cookeville, Tennessee. I moved around. By the time I went to college in Knoxville, I had lived in Cookeville, Memphis, Nashville, New Orleans, Detroit, Charlotte, Birmingham. Parents got divorced in Birmingham, and we moved back home to Cookeville. And then I went to college in Knoxville and moved up here and met my wife. She went to Virginia Tech, so we're kind of in the middle of our two alumni schools.
Yeah.
And
did you guys go to the game at the track that time?
we did.
That was crazy, huh?
Oh,
really?
8 months pregnant.
That was crazy. My stepdad works for Food City. He's one of the store managers, and so he got us some tickets to go up in the booth and stuff. And I mean, just that's another one where it was like, I'm from here. I've been to a billion races over the years, but to watch UT and VT collide in that
in Bristol,
so cool.
Yeah,
and the Braves
energy.
Game too. That was
I love it. We've got fun stuff, fun events.
Yeah.
We know how to get people in and out of here. We can get 20,000 people for Rhythm and Roots. We can sleep them, get them on the road next day, or if it's the race, we can get 100,000 people in, shoot them out different directions. all the it's amazing watching the EMS come together. And
Yes.
I used to wonder why they shut the schools down when the race is going on, but I get it. 'Cause the school resource officer needs to be out at the track.
Everything. It's so much. And I think as far as you're concerning and Cascade's concerned, I mean, when the race comes to town, that totally changes your business, right? For X amount of days, it's like it's a totally different atmosphere.
We really enjoyed having Michael Walker Brewing downtown, and I know they just recently announced they're closing, but that drew a lot of people, a lot of the race fans from the track to come. Whether it's
just because his name,
tourism, yes, they saw it, whether it's the sign on the interstate to get off the interstate or in town for the race, they come down. And those people like craft beer, and so they would ask the waiter, waitress, hey, where else can we go? Cascade.
Yeah.
Yes, I've noticed though it's the other races that's bigger for me. Because I love a good tailgate, so it's hard to leave the track when there's a good tailgate going on. But the other, I don't know, like lower class races where it's a hobby,
like street fights and stuff like that, and
like they're still going around in the circles, but it's like the. I'm spacing on the
lower level, not the NASCAR.
It's more of a hobby,
right.
They're not making the Munoz kid was racing in one. Arca might be one, or some one of those, where it's they do some drags, but most of them go around in circles, and where it's a hobby.
Yeah,
and those guys like craft beer.
Yeah,
they like to stay in the suite, and they're gonna come out. They want to drink good whiskey. They want to have a good meal. They're gonna make the most of their time while they're doing this.
That's true. That almost makes you think again, like flipping it to stand up of like when Travis and I go on the road and go to a town, we want to see do the thing because we're there for the first time. Whereas like big name whoever, Tom Segura, Jerry Seinfeld, when they're in town, they're in the bus and they're gone, or they're in the hotel hiding. That's a different level. So it's like you're talking about actual real people who want to be involved and get to know you and the business.
You're exactly right. They're going to another town next weekend and they'll do the same thing. And they're looking on their app, like, ooh, what kind of beer does this guy have? We've got stuff that they're never going to see again. And those people.
I will say that about Cascade too. I mean, I've been there a bunch over the years, but we used to go there for mics and stuff. Travis ran an open mic there for a little while and stuff. And I think each time I'm there, I'm blown away by the selection. You guys have like such a random, beautiful selection.
I don't want to make it too easy on people.
It's so, I'm also an indecisive person. So I see that list and I'm like, damn, I don't know, man. Like the one time I was there, y'all had a dill pickle beer.
Oh, it's popular.
I couldn't believe how good it was. I was blown away, and I'm a pickle person, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna like that.
It's amazing what they're doing.
So good.
Yeah, pickles taking off.
It's crazy.
They're doing pickle cider, pickle sours, pickle lagers.
Really? Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I think my favorite one I've had there though, and I don't know if you still have. It's been a while. There was like an orange cream. Some version of an vanilla orange cream, something. It's been a while, but that it's also like that's dessert beer. That's a whole different thing. That's not like with dinner. That would make no sense.
Yeah, you're right. There's a time and place for all of them.
Yeah,
whether it's a 5-ounce pour or all day.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes all day. I wanted to ask you about that too. I mean, I think a lot of people see Cascade and see the success of it, and they see you and they know you in there and stuff. A lot of people know you and love you. But talk to me a little about what it's like to own that space. Like, are you ever in there at night after it's closed and you're standing around going, this is crazy?
That's my office.
Yeah, right.
So after I go to the Y in the morning, I go in there.
Yeah.
And it's just me. Sometimes I'll have my dog or son's out of school. He's going to be with me. But it is very surreal.
Yes.
I could go in there, turn some music on, pull my menus up, pull my laptop out. I've got the whole bar as my desk. That is very surreal to see it come to fruition where it was an idea.
Right.
And it was hit paper, and then I had people tell me it'll never work. You can't do it this way. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And
does that fuel you when people say that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's my favorite thing. And that's a comic and entrepreneur thing too.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it. I wouldn't ever say it out loud to anybody. But
you remember you remember who it was.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I remember the people that haven't been there.
Yeah. Right.
I've got friends that haven't been there. That doesn't get lost on me.
Yeah, I think when I went to college, I was an animation major, but when I first started, I was in the same department and I wanted to do game design. And I remember like my mom in particular and so many others who just didn't understand how relevant that really is, going like, you want to play video games for like you can't do that. cut to 4 years later, I'm walking across the stage with a degree that says I can.
Yeah,
you know, like,
there you
so
go.
I am very much
it.
that same way where I'm like, if you tell me I can't,
I'm
gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it.
Like the old saying, never work a day in your life if you love what you do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was after.
Yeah.
Trying to figure that out. And definitely there's, I don't, I would never dwell on that stuff. I don't want to make it sound like that's in the back of my head every day, but it's not, it is definitely a driver and it's something,
Exactly.
I'm a positive person. So I try and look at everything as the glass half full and everything. But yes, I will definitely remember conversations of people telling me it can't happen. Why are you doing it like this?
Well, some people take that to heart or take it personal and it holds them down instead of fuels them. You're talking about using that to boost you.
And in that same turn, there's people that, their heart's in the right direction. They're just trying to help.
Yeah.
So I want to listen to all these ideas, and I may take them, or I may say, well, there's a reason why we don't do it like that.
Sure.
There's a reason for this or that. But so I do want to listen.
Yeah. And I'm
know.
sure there's probably people starting out that give you some advice that was absolutely terrible. And then there's probably some that you followed that's maybe contributed to the success of the thing.
And there's advice that I thought somebody along the way would have given me, like payroll taxes.
Right.
Nobody actually went over payroll taxes with me before when I was doing my business model.
Useful information that you'd like to know.
You would have thought somebody would have, and shame on me, but like I said, I'm learning.
Yeah, right.
I'm learning to file the reports and do payroll and all that stuff myself on the fly in real time.
Yeah.
But, that was one of those, like, you send it to so many people. I presented it to classes and nobody mentioned that. But
there's things that get left out, right? And that's one too. I mean, kind of even to reel it back, like way before entrepreneurship in school and stuff. I think, they teach kids so much stuff, but nobody says, here's how you file a payroll tax. Like that, that you've definitely missed that lesson.
Here's your budget. There's no
100%. Well, you and I, this actually brings me to a funny thing. So you and I saw each other not long ago at a business thing for my actual day job, which is weird. I bumped into you at the United Way thing, I think it was, one of the things we were at, or the city commission, maybe Bristol City Chamber of Commerce, something. And that's such a unique thing for me because I have my whole stand-up world and this show and stuff, and then I have my 9 to 5 that they rarely cross over. But one thing in that meeting while we were there that they were kind of talking about was this idea of like entrepreneurship and starting out and not really knowing anybody or knowing what to do. I mean, was there anybody locally that you think kind of really extended a hand to you early on and gave you some direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Bob Cantler, he wasn't at this role when I knew him, but he's now over the chamber in Johnson City.
Gotcha.
Great guy.
Yeah.
I'm now on the board of the Chamber of Commerce in Bristol.
Right.
They were a good helping hand along the way. And the beer community is very supportive, very collaborative. So
interesting.
I was putting notes together for years, talking to other people on what I would want to do. And if I was to call them or ask them questions, they were always very welcoming with those. Yeah. Eric Allen at Studio Brew, while I was getting by the time I quit my job, and it took 18 months to develop and get it opened. Didn't plan on it to take that long, but it took that long. Sure. And Eric Allen at Studio Brew hired me as a grunt. But he made the introductions. I was able to brew beer on a large scale, all the way to kegging and bottling and cleaning and doing everything that I may not necessarily be doing at Cascade Draft House, but I can at least walk the walk and talk the talk.
Sure. You've done it.
Other than just home brewing, yes. I've filled bottles, I've filled cans, I've cleaned kegs.
As an employee, too, I mean, I've never worked in that industry or that environment, but as an employee, the only thing that makes me really want to respect and follow a leader, too, is knowing they've been in my shoes. So I'm sure that your people are the same way, where it's like he knows what he's telling us to do, It's not just go run laps. It's I've ran laps. I know what I'm doing.
I mean, and I think any business owner would tell you, if knowing your business from A to Z, you're going to be able to fix a lot of things.
Sure.
And so And I would never ask anybody to do anything I wouldn't do.
Exactly.
When people come in and they find out I'm the owner, I also say I'm the head trash taker outer. I'm also the head sweeper.
Yeah. You're still there. You're still doing it.
Still doing it.
Because you could, I mean, you're not gonna, but hypothetically, you could just sit at home and let the business fall where it may, but you're still invested in it so much.
I feel like, that would be yes, I feel like it is self-moving in that I could do that hypothetically, but I would never want to do that.
Sure.
I couldn't bring myself to do that. But also in that same sense, I don't want to be the owner that's there drinking beer every single day.
Sure.
I'm in the doors about every day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. We're not always open. People don't always see me there. But there's a happy medium there.
Sure.
There's people that are regulars on Mondays that I may not see. If I get in a habit of just going down on Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm not going to see the customers on Monday.
Yeah.
So I try and rotate my social time to come down there and say hello and not get caught up in a groove of just coming down on certain days of the week.
Yeah.
Just come down you
get to see different people too, and they get to know that you're still involved and you're still around. I think one of the things that's so fascinating to me about, no matter who's sitting in that chair, is I love that there's a space now where you're here and we're talking about how well it's going and all these things. What I am maybe more obsessed with is that 18-month period that you mentioned. So you go from, I have this steady job that I've been at for a long time. 15 years. Now, there's that 18-month chunk. Talk to me about that. I mean, that is, I imagine, so much anxiety and fear and hard work.
Thank goodness for my wife.
Yeah.
I did have a great wife, supportive. So that was, that really helped. I couldn't do it without her. No doubt about it. Could not do it without Jessica Flagg.
Yeah, that's how could you do something like that alone?
By the end product was going to allow me to be home, be in Bristol with our son as needed, and she can concentrate on her career.
Right. So she saw the vision a little bit too.
She saw the vision. Yeah. We just got to bear with it. But there was a lot of ups and downs. Finding, getting just the whole steps. All the steps of funding, insurance, licenses.
Yeah. Was that location the pick from day one?
No, I was just going to do it in a shopping center. It's cheap shopping center.
Yeah.
There's so many dilapidated shopping centers around here. I was just going to pick one out with low rent, and I was also going to do a much smaller tap list.
Okay.
Do
what's the number right now?
40.
40. Oh my God, 40. That's a lot to manage.
And then we built the custom cooler to hold those 40 kegs. The cooler can't be any smaller than what it is. It also can't be any larger than what it is because it would hit the ceiling.
Wow.
Fit right in. So the vision kind of grew.
Yeah.
Once I knew that this was what I was going to do full time. Originally, I was going to do this part time and keep my job.
Oh, okay.
And do it in a shopping center and just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, have my friends playing music and serve beer and. But then it grew. Yeah. And we went all in.
Boy, did it. Yeah, really. Yeah. Also, when I think of 40 taps, and I'm sure a lot of folks listening maybe aren't beer drinkers or aren't business minded or whatever, but it's not just 40 taps with liquid coming out. It's coordinating 40 different liquids to
keeping the lines clean.
Oh my God.
We've got, and it's not just beer. We've got ciders. Yeah. We've got Italian hard sodas. We've got meads. We've got, and then under the beers, we've got sours, lagers, IPAs, brown ales, blonde ales.
And they're all coming from a different part of the country, too.
I tell people all the time, I'm not buying location.
Yeah.
I'm buying to fit the menu of what we need. And, I also tell brewers and distributors, if you're telling me I'm the only one getting the keg, I'll take it every time.
Yeah, sure.
So we have a lot of one-off stuff you're not going to see again. Stuff
that's amazing.
Can't get anywhere else.
Is there any particular, right this moment, I'm sure there's one every week, but is there any particular one that you go, that's a special one right now on the menu?
The brewery Zool is killing it right now out of Knoxville.
Okay.
XUL.
Zool.
They are killing it. So they really speak to the zeitgeist of our flavor palette within the sours and IPAs.
Okay.
And they're really putting out some good products.
Interesting.
We have Paper Crowns on right now. They won a gold medal with Rhymes Like Dimes at the World Beer Cup.
That's a popular one. Yeah. I know that name and I know nothing about beer.
They also have the PBJ mixtape.
Oh, okay.
Which is the ever popular.
I've seen it.
We can't get enough. They know what they're doing as far as not keeping it in good heavy supply.
Sure. Oh, sure.
They're creating a line out the door.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Supply and demand.
One in,
101.
one out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I do think, I think a lot of people also, when it comes to beer, at least, in like to look at my family, let's just say, they're all from here, so you could get the picture. That I think beer is it's a tool for intoxication. It's not an art. There's not enjoyment. There's not, it's not a. I think in your case, the appreciation is there, and even though I don't know anything about beer, when I'm in that room, I feel like I do a little.
It's definitely more quality over quantity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't get a lot of drunks, and it's hard to stay there all day at $6-7 a pint.
Right.
Most people, they'll come in and they're professional.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they do when they get home.
Sure.
Sure.
They switch to Miller Lite,
there's
maybe.
a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
But what we do is moderation and quality over quantity.
Yeah, and as someone who's been in there a lot, I can't think of one time I've ever been witness to, a customer that was off the rails or a situation or anything like that. Whereas you walk in any other bar, real true bar in town, as soon as you walk in, you can clock 3 guys and go, that guy's going to be a problem.
Absolutely.
You just know.
As the years have gone on, it's dawned on me that it's what we don't have that makes us special. We don't have long neck bottles.
Yeah.
We don't have cheap beer.
Yeah.
We don't have gin and tonics, Merlots, Chardonnays. We don't have chicken wings. We don't have pizza. We don't have, nobody's there that doesn't want to be there. This is what we have.
Yeah.
We're very niche. So everyone in there is kind of a friend already. We checked the box.
We have something in common.
We have something in common.
Yeah. It's a club, pretty much. That's what a club is, right? People who want the same goal and like the same things. There's no price to enter. Anyone can join.
Absolutely.
But it's
just gotta be cool.
Yeah, just got to be cool. Yeah. I think that statement too of like it's what we don't have that makes us special. That to me is so impressive because most businesses, it's all about what can we get? What can we add? What can we maybe we'll try pizza. That'll get them in. In your case, you're just in the pocket going, we are who we are.
I'm not trying to be something for everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm very confident in that.
Yeah.
And I'm not veering off from that. This is what we're doing.
Well, it seems to be working just fine.
Yeah,
so why would you?
Everyone in there, it keeps the vibe at that level.
Yes.
It keeps the vibe cool. It keeps the vibe positive. Nobody's sitting there all day drinking Coors Light. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's just not who we are.
It's not where you do that.
Not where we do it.
Yeah. I think, there's something to that confidence too. Because, and it's not... In comedy especially, the line between confidence and ego is a thin line. And you see guys tiptoe too far. Some people get lost at sea and never come back in the sea of ego. But the confidence in you to go, well, if it ain't broke, I'm not fixing it. We seem to be doing okay.
At 40 years old when I started, I knew who I was. I knew what I wanted what this vibe to be.
Yeah, that's huge.
I think being a little bit older, I was not ready to own a bar until the day I opened.
Right.
I feel like.
Right. So that's at 40. That in itself is crazy that at 40 you decide I'm going to leap into this new venture. It's so scary. If you go backwards, is there a specific bar? Is there something that inspired you way before to go, I want to do this one day?
I had been taking notes, literally taking notes of places that my wife and I would travel and see.
Yeah.
We're like, ooh, look at that art, or look at the way their beer menu is.
So it just always stuck out to you.
Just kind of had an idea to do something with it.
Yeah.
How to make it work. That was a whole other,
Sure. Oh, that's
how to.
Right. It's one thing to have the idea, but to do it. Yeah.
It was, but like I said, it's still very surreal.
Yeah.
Still, pinch myself.
That's so important too, because I think with anything, even with stand up, with anything, it's so easy to reach that pinnacle that you thought I'll never get there, and then you get there, and then you're just bored, or you're bitter, or you relax, or you take it for granted, or all these things, but you don't.
I wake up thankful, grateful, honored. I've probably said honored 2 or 3 times in this podcast.
Yeah.
But I truly am. But it's
huge.
The customers and my team that works there. My newest employee is 2.5 years with me. Not a lot of turnover.
That's
That
awesome.
says something.
Yeah.
The comedians that come in there, the run club, the musicians,
Yeah.
the regulars. It's just truly grateful.
Yeah.
Surreal.
And I think, you know, maybe it's not 100% unique to downtown. I'm sure a lot of people have their space downtown, and maybe it's Cascade or maybe it's not. But the fact that your crowd, like you said, is we all have this common interest and we all agree this is the vibe.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it, or
Yeah.
you're out of here. Like,
I always
this
kid,
is-
everybody in here has probably seen Dave Matthews.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
They had something different for lunch yesterday than they had today.
Yeah, sure.
It's not going to be
Sure.
the same thing every day.
Yeah, you don't get a lot
There's
of yeah.
So they automatically have some similarities.
Right.
Like,
Some culture, shared culture.
We've seen people sitting at the bar that were politicians,
Mm.
police officers, judges, house painters, construction crew,
Yeah.
real estate, and nobody knows who they are.
Right.
Nobody knows one from the other.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I think that's what's really special about a place like that.
Like, did you try the orange one? Did you try the?
Yeah.
Have you tried the PBJ?
Yeah. It's all that matters.
Yeah. When'd
Yeah.
you say Dave Matthews?
Yeah, right. I think that's such another level too, because so many, again, like to cut back to other business models of like, what can we do to bring people in and make more money and get more or keep them here all day? How to, let's put a pinball machine in, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. In your case, the idea that you're like, where we're at is what we are, and not only that the people respond to it and go, we love you for what you are. That's so special.
Crazy.
It really is.
So it's quite a relief too to know that I wasn't the only one that wanted this.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that pipe dream paid off a little bit. Yeah.
As much as I, may have liked typewriters, and you open a typewriter repair store, it doesn't mean that everybody else is going to enjoy it. And we weren't to the place yet to open it and they will come.
Right.
I'm still educating people on what we're doing and no, we don't have food. No, we don't have liquor. You may not be a beer drinker, but you would. Have you tried this sour? Have you tried this cider? Have you tried this bourbon barrel aged stout?
How has that been difficult as far just geographically? We live in an area of the country where I think a lot of people look negatively on just the word alcohol. They're just immediately tune out. Oh, yeah. How has that been difficult to overcome or educate, I guess, is a great word?
It definitely has changed with the distilleries, and the brewing laws have changed to allow for more breweries and distilleries to open up. That's really helped. And there's a whole tourism end of seeing, going to brewery tours and distillery tours. Like I said, that's how my wife and I would see a town. We'd bring it up on Untapped on our phone, and if they're a verified venue like Cascade, that means they take their beer pretty seriously.
Gotcha.
They take their choices pretty seriously, and that's how we would see the town.
Yeah,
and I love it when people come here and do the same thing. If they're coming from Asheville, but you're right. When I was telling people when I was opening a family-friendly beer bar, it's quite an oxymoron.
Yeah, I can hear the pushback.
Yeah, the jumbo shrimp of that one.
right.
But that's what we want. That's what I wanted, and that's what.
Well, you had the vision, and you had the confidence in knowing even if that 18
clean.
months is scary and risky and all these things, you knew throughout it's going to work for me.
Well, I'm going to do everything I can to try to make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, and I think some of that pushback too is a lot of times, even with stand-up, there's pushback to that around here, where it's like people are like, they're filthy. It's a lot of times it's not. It's just ignorance, It's I don't know anything about that thing. I've never heard of it. Get it away from me. I don't want to learn.
The parking issue with downtown is the parking issue,
right?
Not actually parking,
right?
So it's like people, the keyboard warriors that weren't going to come to the show anyway. They weren't going to come downtown,
sure.
And they're spreading negative vibes, and they're not coming to the bar.
No,
they just want to hate.
Right,
they want to be negative.
Put down businesses.
Yeah. We see that all the time. And it's.
I get them too. With Don't Tell, we'll get the occasional review or the Facebook comment on our flyer that's like, never go. I went one time and there was one bad comedian out of 6 of them. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like that, I feel like that's a good show.
Everyone else is laughing.
In my opinion, that's a good show. If one person has a bad set out of 6 of us, that's a good show. That's a good show.
I remember our 2 or 3 low reviews on Google.
Yeah,
I know exactly what they are.
Yes,
hilarious. There's reason for them.
Right.
I mean, I take them seriously, but it's
I think
somebody took their mask down on somebody didn't have their mask on New Year's Eve and.
Get out of here.
Why are you at my bar on New Year's Eve
outta here.
complaining about masks?
I do some of that stuff too. Is like, it's like you said, it's not sticking in your head. It's just the behind the scenes of it. And that's the thing about bad reviews too. Is like, usually I think most people would see a bad review and go, "There's two sides to this." Yeah. Especially sometimes they get so crazy.
Especially art, like humor.
Yeah, right.
You can tell me that
it's
only
so
one
subjective.
person. Like I may have thought
because there were 70 people there. Everybody else was having a good time. Yeah, we've had a few of those. We've definitely had a few, but also, in my case, it's stand-up came first and producing and Don't Tell came later. So yours is almost the reverse, and it's like, I'm going to start this business and then learn so much about it. That's scary.
Yeah, I wasn't opening a venue either. So
right.
I learned getting the music and the comedy. I did at probably 2010, 11, 12. I was the board president at Theater Bristol.
Okay.
And so I had produced shows and done some productions.
Oh, wow. That helps a lot.
That gave me a good background and some connections with bands and
right.
people.
Right.
Very proud of my time there, and to see them where they are now at Theater Bristol, it's amazing. Samantha Gray's doing a great job over there. That's awesome. But we were not doing as well back then. We
sure. Well, the town was
the whole town. You're
also,
right. Like
yeah,
downtown wasn't exactly the
not
same
at all.
shape. It was in the ebb and flow of that.
Right. Right. And you mentioned that right at the start, too. It goes up and down. So who knows? This conversation may age poorly, too. We hope not, obviously.
Yeah,
and I
we're
think,
still on the rise.
Well, the more that I'm around, and, also, it probably helps a lot that I'm 26 as opposed to I'm talking about when I'm 8. Then I'm not going to be impressed by the breweries or whatever. But at 26, walking down my hometown main street of State Street, it impresses me, and I'm from here, So I think that's a great sign.
I have a 9-year-old, and so that 8 or 9-year-old now, we've got the escape room, we've got Pins for Friends, we've got Accidental, we've got there's stuff that's good fun for adults and kids.
Oh yeah,
not to mention the 3 theaters.
I think that's something that Bristol is doing a great job of that Johnson City actually is failing at. And I've had just the other day I had a friend on who owns 3 downtown businesses, and one of the things he said was, we have been preaching to downtown, we need stuff for family, we need stuff for kids. There's plenty of stuff for the adults to do, but if they don't have the kids with them, there's only a limited time they can be there. Right. So I think Bristol's doing a great job.
I do too.
That.
I think it's great. I have a blast with my son down there.
I bet. Does he like to bowl? The Pins and Friends bowl?
Yeah, bowling, the video games.
Oh yeah.
Go have a beer at Cascade.
I can get lost in Pins and Friends. I can be in there for hours.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It really is. And also, I think one thing that Bristol has too, and not to just shit on Johnson City. I think it's a great city too, and I have a lot of friends there. We do most of our don't tells there. But one aspect that Bristol has is the historic businesses. Yeah. Johnson City has the history, but Bristol has Burger Bar, which to me is maybe the most underrated business just in the history of it.
So good. It's got a great story.
Oh, it's amazing. And as a country music fan,
awesome.
Joe's amazing. Blackbird is another one where it's like that place wins.
Best bakery in Virginia.
All the time. All the time it wins that. And people live right here and don't go.
L.C. King,
amazing.
One of Tennessee's oldest businesses. I think they just closed. But, it's awesome.
There's
awesome
so much down there. I mean, I forget even, like I know Ben Walls is a guy that too I really respect and I love his work, and I think having that studio down there adds a certain level of art or class to that side of the street,
Yeah, that's I feel like down there there may be a couple antique stores or a couple bars, but they're also different. They all bring something different to the table.
Oh yeah.
Accidental's not the same as Pins and Friends, but on paper you could say that's a kind of restaurant with activities and but they bring something different to the table. I bring something different than the brewery or the new nightclub or the restaurant.
Right. Also the people are a part of that too. Like when you said Accidental, my mind goes straight to LJ. Like that dude is awesome.
Great.
I love him, and I think he's always there. He's always the same guy. You get the same guy. He gives you what you want every time, and he's so considerate, and he's been so supportive of other ventures too, like comedy and music and things. So
he'd be a good one for this podcast too.
Oh, he'd be great.
I've got his number.
I can't believe I've never had him on, honestly, because I just saw him not long ago and didn't bring it up. He's great, and I think that he has a similar mindset on his business, because we've talked about it, where he's like, I just want to get people
people here and then show what else is down here. It's not all about me.
He's a good team player.
Yes,
You know,
that's huge.
You know, like we work together. We've done the Wing Walk, Oktoberfest, where we organize a pub crawl for people to come. And fundraiser.
Wing Walk is fun. I've done that one. I've never done the Oktoberfest, but those events, I mean, what's that like for you to not only get to show your wares and promote your business, but work with so many other people?
I love it.
That's
I
awesome.
love seeing people downtown. They've got their lanyards on. The Chamber of Commerce and Discover Bristol is great to work with. It's a great fundraiser for them.
Yeah.
It's became an annual event. People look forward to it. It sells out every year.
It's awesome.
You know, I wish we could just have it open and have as many people as we could, but we got to be able to plan. We got to be able to get 250 chicken wings out the door at each location.
Yeah.
So that's and the locations donate their time and their energy and the food. So it's awesome seeing it come together and everybody's smiling and laughing. And it's always somebody will be new that comes to Cascade that's never been there. Just like with Axonell, that somebody will go through those doors that have never met LJ or been to Axonell, and that's what it's all about. Now they've broken the threshold. They came in. They know where the bathroom is. They've met my bartenders. And,
they feel comfortable there.
Comfortable.
Yeah, because I think I also want to circle back at some point to New Orleans too, because you said New Orleans and I'm obsessed. But I do that, like when I go to New Orleans or when I go to these bigger cities, I will admit I'm guilty of walking past a place and thinking, God, it'd be cool to go in there. But there's some anxiety, there's some unfamiliarity, there's something that makes you not go in there. Well, so just getting folks in the door that does a lot of good, I think.
Yeah, breaking that threshold. I mean, that's been huge for us. And so it's not, the days are always fun, you know, there's money to be made, but that's still long-lasting impact with those patrons that we enjoy.
Absolutely.
If you like Delta Blues, you're probably gonna like Cascade and make a night of it. Get a babysitter, or bring the kids.
That's a great night. Also, I'm a big fan of both of those things. Night. I think Delta is so good. Yeah. It's so do they still do the Cajun Tuesday thing down there? I haven't been in a while. If they do,
last time I remember, last time I checked, they were.
That's good stuff.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff. Yeah. I think one thing that really amazes me about Bristol now versus when I'm a kid and I'm living near downtown and stuff is, like you said, you can make a night of it. Like I remember when Killin' Time opened and I was of the age where it was like, let's go down there and do that. Then let's get in the car and go eat somewhere else. Now you don't have to go anywhere else. You walk two doors down and there's Delta Blues or there's
Killin' Time's another fun activity for family.
It's awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a fun stroll.
Yes.
Whether I'm with my family or with my guy friends or it's a fun stroll.
Yeah, there's so much. Also, you mentioned antique stores too. I just want to say publicly, Grand Antiques might be my favorite place on planet Earth.
You can get lost in there.
I can get lost in there for days. Like I'll sleep there. I'll keep going. And every time I'm there, it's one of those things where it's always new. There's something different, and it is a dusty antique store, but there's just incredible finds. Like most of the records on that shelf down there have come from awesome. Probably 10-20% of them have come from one booth in that. Yeah,
that's fun. I like having that there.
I love it. That's a nice balance to you got Sapphire Social Club, which is a totally different thing, but the fact that it's all in this 2-block radius,
something for everybody.
That's huge.
They're coming in and staying at the Sessions or the Bristol Hotel, and they've got kids and they can do something. And,
having those downtown now too must have changed a lot too.
That's great.
Yeah, because I know like when Mark Norman came to Bristol, he stays at the Bristol Hotel, and it's like without that being right there, would he be experiencing State Street? I don't know. Where's he going to stay? That's that close. But with there, it allows
and having a hotel that nice that we can say, oh yeah, Mark, go back and tell everybody about.
Yeah,
you had clean sheets. It was plush,
and he did. I mean, he sung the praises of Bristol. So it's like taking a guy like that who it's pretty important that he sees the town at its best. Now he can with all these things. And I think for the country music fan too, because I think, NASCAR is a whole other thing. For the country music fan, I even will say I take it for granted. Like I've lived here my whole life. I've never been in the Country Music Museum. And I'm a huge country music fan. I don't know why.
Check it out.
I know, I got to go down there. I don't know why, I've never been. But for the country music fan to come and have all that there and then have places like Cascade where you can kind of slow down and enjoy and escape, that's awesome.
I love it, and it's all walking distance.
Right.
Which
right.
And I don't think you're the only Bristol resident that hasn't been to the museum.
No, certainly not.
A lot of people, it's one of those things like in Nashville, all my friends in Nashville have never done the touristy stuff, which
Right.
is very cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to see there, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's nice having it in our backyard.
I like when I go to cities, for comedy or whatever, I usually don't have a lot of time there. So usually it's like, I'll do what's the most touristy thing? I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then that usually is a good, even if it's like a bus tour, you get an idea of the city or something.
I love a good bus tour.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. You learn.
I'll be touristy.
That's a scouting trip.
Yeah.
And then you pick what you want after that. Yeah. I think so when you're like, the 18-month period is scary. You do it, obviously starting out, it's not what it is right now. There's COVID is going on, which is so scary. And then it gets to where it is right now. Is there a part of you that gets comfortable and you go, we've made it? Or are you the type of person that's looking at the future and going, how do we grow? How do we adapt?
I wouldn't say, no, I don't think I'm ever comfortable. Like we've made it, this is it.
That's a dangerous place to be, right?
I definitely feel more comfortable.
Yeah, you're not worrying about the lights getting switched off all the time, maybe, which is good.
I mean, and I could see trends, and I could see I could be more prepared than I was the first couple of years.
Sure.
We did have COVID, and then everything's kind of skewed. Nobody's coming out, or and then 2021 and was kind of skewed the other way because everybody was ready to come out.
Yeah,
and so
they're dying.
Get used to those numbers either.
Right.
So I think there's a level of like just education on my end.
Yeah.
On learning and being comfortable in that role.
Right. And it sounds like almost like managing expectations too, because I'm a person who I can really get disappointed if I build up something in my head and it fails, and then vice versa. If it exceeds it, I almost don't even care because I thought it was going to suck. So it's like learning to manage that is probably a huge skill.
I mean,
as
I
well.
always see these kids that there's always room for one more there.
Sure.
We've got an open stool for somebody. Come on in.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful of where it is and the not to get too overly excited, but honored when there is 6 people there.
And staying like excited about the future. Like you believe in the product, you believe in the business. So you know that whatever comes is going to be new and exciting.
It's like Thursdays nights are a rough night for us, or it has been. That's why we're starting to do comedies on Thursday nights and so I can crack that nut. Yeah. But figuring out those trends, but not getting. I've seen it packed on Thursdays. Yeah, so I know it can be done. Sure. I know it can be done, and so if I want to get those numbers up. Yeah. So it is like build. It definitely helps the confidence when you see people there.
Oh yeah. Well,
like,
and
this is
comedy is a great way for that too, because I think it's definitely a new thing. You're like. There's probably some people who would come to a comedy show there who wouldn't just be hanging out on a Thursday. It's a draw for sure. And also, I just want to say, I love Corbin, and I know he's your first head. I love Corbin. Awesome. So actually, that's his bed right there that you're looking at. That's where he's sleeping while he's in town. Awesome. I love Corbin. So it's like that's a great thing too. And I think Meredith's on that show, and people locally love Meredith. So this idea that we'll take these great comedians and it's not how do we make money on a Thursday. It's how do we bring people in the door on a Thursday. It's not about the money to you, it seems. It's community.
I don't want any of us to lose money.
Sure.
But you're right. Money is not at the end of the day what it's all about.
Yeah.
I want to get these new, I want to exposure mic time for comedians. Yeah. And then on the same turn, I want to expose Cascade and these comedians to new people. Right. And it's a long-term investment. Come back, when you do have another date night or, your brother-in-law's in town.
Right, and he loves craft beer. Bring him out. Beer. Yeah. That is interesting. And I think a lot of the other business owners that I've had have talked to me about this idea that just again geographically, sometimes there's pushback on I don't know these things. They're unfamiliar to me. They're new, and that scares them. One thing that my friend Laura brought up on the show is that she started offering products that you can't really find around here, and that when people would see certain products, they go, "Oh, I haven't seen that since I was, in New Orleans or whatever it is. You can't find that around here." In your case, is there ever like a person who goes, "Oh, that beer's from where I'm from," or "That's from my favorite city. I got to try that just because the city."
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when somebody comes in and they haven't seen that beer, or they're surprised to see a beer from their hometown or their home brewery. Love it, Cincinnati.
And you got stuff from all over, right?
And that's what I do want. We get on the other end of that. We get people that come there and they want their hometown brew that we.
Yeah.
Chances are we don't have it.
Right.
You know, we got 40 taps, but there's 7,000 in the United States.
Sure.
So, you know, they want what's familiar to them, and then that's when it becomes fun to educate them and say, well, if you like the blue, let's say a Blue Moon or a Belgian wheat with an orange twist, well, try this Lost Coast tangerine wheat. Try this one. See what you think of this one.
Yeah.
And then that becomes their new favorite beer.
Right.
I tell people all the time, you didn't know that this was your favorite beer until you tried that beer.
That's huge.
So,
also, the fact that you have like that working knowledge of 40 rotating taps all the time, that's a lot of information to store in your head too.
I do keep some notes on them. And try, I do. But yeah, it is. That's my main job as far as in front of the scenes is picking out the right beers and knowing those beers and knowing, like I said, walk the walk and talk the talk.
You're the curator.
I'm the curator of those. So
that's a big responsibility.
I take a lot of. That's my main job. I don't want people to come in there and get bored with it or they've got this.
That also has to be super rewarding though when it does pay off and you go, oh, people like my taste. They trust me a little bit.
When people come in and say, they love the menu or unbelievable that I got this beer or how'd you get this.
Yeah.
And then also we take special requests. So if somebody will tell me they miss something. They miss a Smittix from Europe, from Ireland. And we'll go, I'm like, well, you're right. Like, thanks for the reminder. We haven't had that one in 5 months.
Yeah.
We'll bring that one back.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so like requests and stuff, that does work on you.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see the demand and you fit it into the rotation.
So there's a lot of beers, if we can keep them on tap, we will. We used to, so for the first 3.5 years, it was really important to me to constantly be rotating. We average 3 new kegs a day. Now I will buy, if it's a real popular beer like the Zoll Paper Crowns, or there's several other ones that I'll buy several at a time to just keep that one in stock, and we put that on our Cascade favorites. They've earned a role there.
Oh wow! Yeah. So that's how they get on the favorites list. It's all demand.
Yep.
Interesting.
So if I can keep, and a lot of those are seasonal. A lot of those are one-offs, so we're not going to be able to. Or once a year that there's only one keg in road.
That's a great model too, because it's like you better get it while you can.
That's it. Get it while the getting's good is what I say.
And I bet people are busting down the door for certain ones.
So it's fun to watch people when their favorite beer, when the keg blows.
Yeah, they're like, oh no,
what do I do?
Devastation.
But we got plenty more.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I think I would hesitate to say I'm like a craft beer guy. I think I'm pretty ignorant to most of it, but I do enjoy the conversation around it. I like anything that somebody's passionate about. I like it.
It is.
I'm all in. It is an art.
Definitely an art.
One time I was at a tap room in California. I was living out of my van. Long story. I was an idiot, and I was standing on the coast of California, small, tiny town, one general store, a couple houses, nothing, and they had a tap room. And they had food too, but they had this mechanism where basically you attach your debit card to like a little plastic card, and then you go and you swipe it at the machines and all these self-service type stuff. And it had an interesting vibe. I will say though, I've thought of that place this whole conversation, and I think many of the things you're discussing about Cascade make it so special to me compared to places like that where it's like I talked to the lady when I first got there, but then I serve myself, I sit down, nobody even looks at me after that. You're talking about a family.
One-on-one with the bartender. You've got questions, we've got answers. Yeah. We can pair something for what you like. You don't get stuck into, I know that I like this one, so you just keep going to that one.
Right.
My bartender may be able to direct you and say, hey, well, if you like that one, why don't you try this one too?
Just try it.
Yeah. I like that for the right place. I think that would be good in a big shopping center or out of the Pinnacle, somewhere like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where you've got, the dad that's killing time while wife is in Ulta. And he's got
Sneak
an hour or 30 minutes, whatever, a pint to do and go in there. But yeah, we wanted to have that conversation, that down home, with that feel of like just a classic bartender that, he's your buddy.
Yeah.
And what's your questions?
Yeah.
And, that one-on-one experience downtown.
Sure. That's a huge thing too. I mean, the staff is so important. You know, I think a lot of the other businesses that I've had on, it maybe is just the owner running that business or very minimal staffing. But I think the fact that you've had this idea, you've spent this 18 months in panic, you do it, it pays off. Now you have to kind of turn over the keys a little bit and trust a person.
Finding the right people
with your baby.
And I've got a great team, Lodi and Charity and Scott and Travis.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Because you can't be there 24/7, like you said. So it's like you're trusting them to take care of your baby, your brainchild. That's huge.
I'm truly honored. I mean, like I said, they've been with me so long. They're family to our patrons as well.
Yeah,
they're family to me. It's very special. Getting to that point of trusting them. You know, I was there every day for 3 or 4 months before I took a day off.
Right.
Not being bartending and not being there, but being able to trust them, and we've got our checks and balances, so it protects them, protects me, protects us all. But
well, you mentioned the 2.5 year thing too, and I mean that's a long time.
Yeah, my newest.
That's a great sign.
Yeah,
that's a really great sign.
Oh, we've got our Charity's been with me from day one. Lodi's been with me for over 5 years. We've been open 6.5 years. He's been with me for. It'll be 6 years this summer. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that in itself is like such an accomplishment. Obviously, the business and the numbers and the community and all these things, but the fact that you have people who still want to be with you after that time, that's huge.
That's that's one of my prouder accomplishments with Cascade.
Sure,
is not having the turnover and having the camaraderie and the family atmosphere with my team.
Yeah,
but also being open 7 days a week, it makes it hard to have like an employee meeting or but we figured it out.
7 days a week is tough. And you said that was from
they don't want to ask people to come in on the day off,
right? Right.
And somebody's working too
for a meeting. Yeah, 7 days is tough. I do think that maybe more than other businesses, though, that makes sense for you all, because it's like we want to be this space that no matter what you're going through, what day of the week it is, you just got hired, you just got fired, whatever it is, you can come in the door and it's the same place.
And coming from the construction side, there were times where I was working nights and I was working weekends, so my times to be able to have a beer or have lunch were skewed to what everybody else's would be. So it was important to me that we open 7 days a week. We started opening at 11 a.m. Before we opened back up after COVID. That was a little overzealous.
Okay.
2 p.m. is good.
Gotcha.
So you've got the people that the people that are coming in during the day, it's not necessarily drunks per se.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
Their schedule is different.
Yeah.
So that was important to me.
That's another thing that interests me about, again, like geographically, that people would drive by Cascade and see cars in the parking lot and go, "Oh, look at those drunks! It's 2 p.m." That's just not the case with you. Yeah, it's just that's just ignorance. But I think it exists, and I think that the only way to maybe educate is to have conversations like this. That's another cool part of this show, is like not only do you get to come on and showcase who you are and what you've been through to create this business, but you get to actually show here's what it actually is, instead of just driving by or reading the reviews and you see the one bad one.
There's a human and a family behind this.
Yeah. The family's important
thank
too.
You for giving us this platform.
Oh, it's truly an honor. I mean, obviously I enjoy doing it and I get something out of it for sure. I love doing it. But more than that, and Don't Tell's the same way, where it's like we sell tickets, the company makes money. I don't really. I make a little bit, but the company makes money. And the comics get paid and the comics have a good time. But I can bring you 70 people that maybe have never been in your space. Yeah. That's huge to me. That's so important to me. And this show's the same way. Yeah. It really is.
Being able to provide a place for the musicians to get better, the comedians to get better, for my bartenders to have a livelihood and make money. I mean, it's very special. It's
so many factors. And I think pretty often on this show, especially and other shows, I feel like sometimes business owners locally doing kind of the news or local podcasts, whatever it is, get into this thing where it's almost like you're having to sell your wares and your self-promotion. I don't want this show to ever be that. I want this show to be about you. This is because the title is Spence Flagg. It's not Cascade Draft House. You know what I mean? Like, it's about you. So to kind of flip it off of the business for a second, I do want to say each guest picks an album. You pick Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Great pick. let's chat about that for a second, because we were talking a little before about just like our love for music and Pink Floyd. So that's a big one for you.
You know, the memories of a child, hearing it in the background, and all the way up to where I was in college and we're watching Wizard of Oz with it.
Yeah, we were talking about that before too.
It in a different angle, different light.
Just in case somebody listening doesn't know, there's a very odd thing where if you play Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz,
like the second lion's roar,
it's crazy.
Start it.
It syncs up perfect. Yeah, you can find online tutorials. I think there's even probably a YouTube video that does it.
Where it's already on it,
so you don't have to guesswork. But to do it like with the vinyl and have it on the screen, that's pretty so awesome. Trippy. Because you go, there's no reason this should sync up like this, but it does. It's like really cool. Like
you hear those songs in a different way after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And really, all of Pink Floyd. I mean, that's such a specific choice you made, because I have pushing 300 albums down there, but the fact that you chose that sticks out to me, because you're the first one to pick that album. Awesome. And I love that album.
I like it.
But I do think also there's also some pressure involved when somebody hands you a packet and goes, pick an album, and you're like, I don't know. We also chatted a little bit about like Red Fox and Pryor and some of these things that you saw on the list.
Classic.
Was just for selfish interest, was stand-up a part of your life at all before?
I love comedy.
You do?
I think I always have.
Most people do.
I tip my hat to comedians like yourself that can get up there and on call, tell jokes,
it's
make
brutal.
people laugh.
Sometimes it can be so brutal.
Such respect. You know, it's one of those things like watching an athlete. You know, I can't do that. You know, I'd love to do that. Or that's something that I don't. You know, I would love to think I could.
Sure,
but it's just not my skill set.
Yeah,
and I've always loved comedy. You know, whether it's sneaking around with the Red Fox and Richard Pryor, or watching Eddie Murphy with my cousins, or
Did you have that experience where like you would get in trouble for listening to that stuff? Was that your household where it was like, don't listen to that garbage? Because my dad showed me all that stuff way too young. Like I'm 6 and we're watching Richard Pryor and stuff. But he did that because as a kid, when he would have a Eddie tape or a Pryor album, his mom would smash it and be like, that's trash, get that. So he thought it was important to instill that in me. And now, I mean, hey, it kind of worked out, I
mean, that's kind of how I am with my son, and like, they're wordsmiths.
Oh, yeah.
And like there's a time and place for every word, every reason why they're saying that word.
Yeah.
And if it's foul language, he's got to learn. My thing with him is context.
Sure.
If you stub your toe and say shit, that's okay.
It's all right.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But don't just willy-nilly start throwing this stuff around.
Right.
And so that's my thing with. But so my dad and my mom were. If it's not around, he won't learn about it.
Which made you want to learn about it.
Want to learn about it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had my Eazy-E tape and NWA and all that.
Yeah.
So I think my approach will be a little bit different.
Sure. You know what's so fun is like I'm 26, so I didn't have that experience of sneaking in the Eazy-E tape or sneaking in the Pryor album, but my dad had them, and he was so adamant to instill that in me and make a point to go, I'm not doing that to you. Like, you need to explore these things. So almost when you say those things, I almost relate to him, even though I didn't live them. But he like instilled all that into me. It's so important. I really believe, because it's art. It's just like craft beer, where it's like just because you think it's all a bunch of drunks, it's not. And if you dig into it, there's some beauty in there. There's some art in there. And I think stand-up.
There's a reason why this ingredient got put in the beer. There's a reason why this word got put into this joke.
Exactly. It makes it what it is.
It is.
Yeah. And I think the music thing is also interesting. Like part of the show is every guest that comes on, you get that same list. You get to pick your album. If you come back, you can pick a different one or the same one. And we put it on the wall. And I think on some small level, it tells me something about the person. Even like I know you, but I've had several guests that I've never met come in. For the first time I'm meeting them. And, when they pick an album, you go, oh, there's something in there.
I wanted it to kind of have some sort of semblance of me.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want to just, ooh, I like that song.
And most people love music or stand-up or something. So there's something for everybody. But like I do, like when I think of Pink Floyd, I think of these, grand visions and these abstract things and these like dreams almost. And literally you're a person who had this abstract vision and this dream and did it. And I see that, that makes sense to me. I think music can sometimes really simplify us. in that way. Now, I will say I am a person who, depending on what day you ask me, I have a different favorite album and song, so it's a little harder to gauge sometimes.
I used to tell people I liked Kenny Chesney, Kenny G, and G Unit.
Okay, that's all over the place.
A little bit everything.
I'm the same way.
I've seen New Kids on the Block twice.
Have you? Yeah.
Once, but I've also seen Michael Jackson twice.
Right.
So
that's crazy.
I took my son to see AC/DC last year.
Did you?
Oh, that's going to be like those bands, like me seeing Michael Jackson. I saw the reunion tour, the Jackson 5, when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
In Neyland Stadium, and he's going to have those stories with AC/DC. AC/DC's not getting any younger. This is probably their last year together.
Yeah.
So he'll be.
That's unbelievable.
Not a lot of 9-year-olds that are going to be able to say, "Yeah, I saw AC/DC."
Yeah, that's a dream of mine too. Like I love those dudes, and I think their music is so important to me. But like the idea that you're instilling that in your son, because this is what's maybe my favorite part about this show is like you are a business owner. You have a shirt that says Cascade Draft House, but you're also a human and a father and a husband and a friend. Like there's so many things to you that I think that people don't get to see as much.
I always laugh when I get introduced to somebody. Hey, this is my buddy Spence. He owns Cascade Draft. Well, there's so much. Wait, right. Whoa! You don't have to leave like that.
That's the 12th thing about me.
So grateful and thank you. But it's kind of like a doctor's the same way. This is my friend Steve. He's a doctor over at
what else does Steve do?
Steve also likes to fish and
yes, yeah. And you mentioned too, like living around here, having access to so many outdoor things. And I know you're pretty involved with your kids, like sports too and stuff, right? I know that about you.
Yep, I've coached his basketball team last year. He's in soccer. We do the USA Ninja over here. He's been doing that since he's 4 years old.
Okay,
he loves that.
Yeah. Is that Chris King?
Is
he the owner there? One of the ninja schools is Chris King.
It's more like the obstacle course.
Okay, gotcha.
Georgia.
Georgia Taylor and Jared. Yeah, I know them.
There you go.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, good people, fun times. So
amazing.
We love going over there.
Love them too. Yeah.
But he likes lacrosse and. He's such a fun kid. He's 9 years old. I still get my cuddle time when I can.
9's fun, huh?
He wants to go outside and build tree houses.
Yeah.
And could care less about phones and video games.
Did you like 9? Like, if you look back on your life, is 9 a good age for you?
Yeah, I think 9 was a fun age.
I love 9.
Yeah.
9's good.
Yeah, my mom says she didn't really much care for 3rd grade, but I remember Mr. Gibson and it was fun.
I think 9 is good. Like it's not too long after 9 where it starts to get difficult. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a 13-year-old boy. Life's rough.
Yeah, we've moved every 2 years, so
that doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
That doesn't help. But 9, it's still you're still building tree houses and you still love your mom and you're not ashamed of it and you don't know about girls yet and it's like your buddies and that's fun.
And I got him a VR headset for Christmas, Oculus, and he could care less.
Really?
I mean, he's used it a few times.
He's outside.
Yeah, he wants to be outside.
That's probably better.
Yeah, I'm very. I knew that I was like, this might be an itch I'm scratching that doesn't itch.
Well, maybe in a few years.
Scratching an itch that's not itching or something, But he'll have it. And I do look at it like an iPad or iPhone, the phone. It's a language. He needs to know.
Sure.
When he does get to a science lab and he puts on a VR headset in high school or whatever, this will need to be the first time that he's doing it.
Sure.
He needs to go, I'll go over here and do it. So there was a level of that, and I'm sure he'll eventually come around when the kids do it. But like I said, he wants to be outside. We got him a phone just so we can keep in contact with him. With these, like, Grandas or Mimis or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need it or doesn't look at it.
That's
he'll
good.
be like, Bagley, where's your phone? I don't know.
Yeah. That's good. That's good because I think it's younger and younger now that they're starting to get hooked on the screens and they don't want to go outside and all these things. And obviously I don't have kids, so I'm speaking of total ignorance here, but I think I have a niece who's 8 and she was just here last night and she's like, let's scoot down the stairs on our butts. That's fun to her. Never was she like, can we get on an iPad? No, I still do it now. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's go through the wall. I don't care.
We get a pillowcase.
Let's get a boogie board, something. But she's still very much there, and that's a special age. And I mean, I think like if you look back on the last 9 years, does it just keep getting better for you as far as fathership goes?
Like I love, I love each stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's different, right?
And I've got friends that their kids all different stages, but yes, I'm savoring this stage that we're in now.
Right.
And he still wants to, be around me.
Yeah. Right. It's hard
maybe
for
not
people.
as much as mom, but
Well, sure. That's same here. Yeah, I think it's sometimes hard for people too when they think of you as a business. Oh, this is Spence, he owns Cascade. I do think sometimes it's difficult for people to go, yeah, that's a certain percentage of his day, but every night he goes home and sleeps in a bed with his wife next to his son in the other room. Like, there's like on a human level, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's easier.
Hard seeing people outside of, you see people whether it's a dentist or a doctor or a barber, and then you see them outside of their workspace. Yeah. On that same hand, I've got friends that are very high level people, and it's hard to imagine them at that level.
Yes, it is.
Being a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, he's just goofy.
Right.
Yeah. He's my goofball friend.
It is weird. I think with comics, sometimes it's super weird because you're like, it's 3 a.m. right now. We're all standing out back shooting the shit or whatever. You got kids? Like, there's comics that I've known them for 5 years, and I just learned they have kids. And I'm like, where have they been this whole time? Like, sometimes that's hard to imagine for the worse. But in your case, it's like, I think for me, it's hard to imagine that someone who's as devoted and is always in the door, like you said, every day, and is curating all these ideas and all these things, like, that takes up so much time and energy. The fact that you can also coach your kids' sports teams and be in his life. That's impressive.
That was, why we wanted to do Cascade, is because I was going to be able to have that flexibility.
Right.
Set my own schedule, be my own boss.
Yeah.
And be there,
Right.
I mean, I could shut Cascade down and go get, if he gets sick, it's not going to be ideal.
Sure.
But I'm in town and can do that.
Yeah. Also, I'm trying to think. So you said open for 6 years. He's 9. So he's 3-ish at the time when you launched.
Actually, it was a month away or a month and a half from his 3rd birthday.
Okay.
So he was 2.
He's 2.
Which is
so
crazy.
You're like, if we can get this going now, by the time I need to be around for him, like if he's sick in school, you're 6 years in now, so you can be there. Whereas, like, if it's the first year of business, it's going to be tough to break away.
Absolutely.
And go get him. That's good timing.
We had picked a strategic daycare that was not on a school system schedule. So they were open Monday through Friday, snow, rain, holidays. And they were open longer too,
Gotcha.
So it gave us more time.
Yeah,
5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening. So
you
don't want to keep them there that late all the time, but it was like it gave us some options.
I was there all the time. Let me tell you, I went to one locally. I'll bleep it on the episode, but I went and I loved it. I actually loved it. But from the time I was probably 6 to 12, or maybe even 13, I was there open to close. Every day. Like the teachers, I was one of the teachers pretty much. Like I was there so often, and it'd be 5:30 and they'd be calling mom like, where you at? We're trying to close, come get him, because she was working and putting herself through a master's degree and all these things. But there is some level of like, you want him to be taken care of, but you don't want him to think he's just there all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
That is a happy medium for sure.
Yes.
I don't want it.
Do you enjoy, like, about fatherhood, aside from business, what is it about fatherhood that you enjoy? Because I don't have kids of my own. I think I want to one day, and I plan to.
I mean, I was 38 years old before I had Macklin.
Wow.
And so my mom will ask me every now and again, do you remember life without Macklin? Yes.
Yeah. 38
years of it.
Right.
Yes, I've got an idea what it was like.
Right.
We were married for 10 before we had kids,
That changes everything right?
So again, like I probably wasn't ready to be a dad before the day was that I became a dad.
Sure.
There's still days I'm questioning, am I ready for this? But
Here
we are.
I think that's good. I would be much more scared if you were like, I'm the best dad ever.
I wrote this book about it.
I'd be like, let's not promote it on the show. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
It's empty, but it's...
blank pages. Everything I know about fatherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that's a special thing too. And I mean, do you think in any way the fatherhood and the business operating like kind of feed into each other a little bit? I mean,
I wasn't raised in an entrepreneurship household, and I love him seeing entrepreneurship come out in him, whether it's grabbing it by the reins at Cascade and wanting to close somebody out with a credit card machine, or wanting to learn how to use the cash register, moving the kegs and knowing that this is work. This is
I bet he loves
our supply. He does. He likes the idea of now he's starting under kids are at school. Your dad owns a bar. They're starting to learn. The parents think it's a brewery, which is fine.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah. But sometimes I think the friends might think I'm a more more hip than he does.
Sure.
But you've seen the entrepreneurship come out in him, whether it's starting a lemonade stand or we do an annual party in the summer, and he's started a little snack stand with his cousin, and
good for him.
learning inventory, and it's not all free money.
Right.
Just because you made this, now you got to pay for what you sold, and but understanding those concepts,
it's also one of those things like we mentioned earlier that he's not learning in school. He's learning a lot of good things in school. He's not learning that. That's only something that his entrepreneur father can show him.
Right.
That's
exactly
huge.
Right. Yeah. Real time. And then introducing him to other people that are doing this, and he sees that it can be done.
Right.
You can do this. It's not a pipe dream.
Yeah. And he knows the owners of other businesses, and he can know, I don't think of this as the business. I think of Uncle whoever who owns it, like he's around it. That's a really cool life for a kid.
It's special, and to see him, growing up in this.
Yeah,
I mean, again, that's one of those like surreal moments that could.
Right. Yeah, and I think on some level too, you're probably showing him like the responsibility aspect of alcohol and how to behave around it, and like you said, that your business is a reflection of that vibe.
We always like to say we work hard and play hard.
Yeah,
and sometimes if we play hard, we gotta work even harder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I was telling him that just the other day. Just how it's not all play.
Yeah.
I like to have fun.
Sure.
I'm kind of known for having fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you picked up on that.
Right. I'm aware.
I look for fun. I like fun.
Yeah, we've had some fun together.
I like fun.
I'm aware.
But in order to do that, we got to check a lot of boxes and get there.
Yeah, and I think you've created a business too that is centered around fun, and stand up is very much the same way. Where I hear it all the time. It must be great. You just go up there and have a couple drinks and talk. Come on, bro. Like it's so much harder than that. It's work around fun.
I hope it comes across like that.
Right. That's what we want. In the same way with you, you're like, I want this. I don't want anyone to know the stress I'm under.
I get people all the time that what were you doing here when you weren't open? When I go in during the day and I'm doing computer work and stuff like that.
Yeah, they think you just drink for free all day.
It's just go in and pour beer. I hope it looks that way.
Also, though, I mean, that's got to be difficult to manage on your end too, where you're like, I can have as much as I want. That's like owning a candy store, where it's like that's got to be tempting. That took some getting used to.
I bet. I used to feel like that I had to try everything.
Oh, sure.
So there was a lot of 3, 4, 5 ounce pours before lunch.
Yeah.
And that just sets the day. That sets the tone. And it's a lot easier to have a pint with lunch at that point.
Sure. Like I'm already in.
Yeah, the axles are greased. When this train's rolling. But the newness wore off of there. And,
sure.
And it is. In the state of Tennessee, I have paid for those beers, but those beers are my supply. And if I want to get a transaction for those beers, there need to be beer in the kegs.
Yeah.
So
also, I mean, just with anything, I think if you owned a flower shop, you'd be obsessed about keeping the best flowers for yourself and seeing everything and doing everything. But I'm sure it does. 6 years, it fades.
And I've learned there's just some beers that aren't my favorite.
Yeah. What do you? So I think just in case maybe there's some folks listening who are listening because they see you on the thumbnail or they know Cascade. And they're curious about like your personal taste. Tell me a little about that, because I think you and I are probably on different planets.
I mean, like with music, I can appreciate something from every genre.
Sure.
I can appreciate something. If there's a beer from every style that I can tell you that I like, I can drink it. But as cliche as it is, I love a good hazy IPA.
Okay.
That's and I started out liking in craft beer with Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Okay,
and then Fat Tire came along, and those were kind of the break the ice with me.
Yeah.
And now I just need a little bit more boldness in there, a little bit more body.
Okay. And that's something would you say that's almost like acquired taste or like a refined palate after so many years of Fat Tire? You need something a little more.
I think it's a matter of trying until you find something you like. I don't consider myself a refined palate.
Okay.
I just like what I like.
Yeah.
And
it's your taste.
I was not, hazy IPAs really weren't a thing. I mean, as popular as they are now.
Yeah.
Back then in 2001, they weren't as popular as they were. It was the Pale Ale. It
was
the West Coast IPA, which is very hoppy, very bitter. Totally different style of beer. But yeah, I can remember drinking Guinness and thinking, what do people like about this?
Yeah.
What is this?
My girlfriend hates it. I love it too.
You know,
I love it. Well, I love it. Like there's a little British pub over in Boone that I'm obsessed with, and every time we're over there, that's where we wind up. Hey, when it fits, I love a Guinness. When it fits, when you're in a British pub,
I've got the nitrous on draft. It's
amazing.
perfect.
It's hard to beat. But my girlfriend, I'll make her try stuff here and there. And she say, well, Guinness, she's like, why? Why would you do this to yourself? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like it. I do like it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's funny, like, so I guess beers do grow and refine to what you go, who you are, what you're liking, and so the more times you try it.
I almost think of like coffee too. Like right now, I'm sipping really strong black coffee. When I first started drinking coffee, it was all flavored lattes, all this stuff. You kind of weed out the excess.
Yeah, you know, in college, I liked Keystone Light and Coors Light.
Oh yeah,
it was just flavored water.
Yeah,
beer flavored water.
You can have 10 and be fine.
It wasn't about taste and flavor. And they've came so far with it. You know, they're doing some, you know, toasted marshmallow, cookies, cream.
Yeah.
Barrel aged,
you know. Even like I'm thinking, my stepdad, you know, he manages Food City, like I said, and occasionally he'll send me a picture and be like, "We got Bush Apple in," and I'm like, well, "Why is Bush doing apple? Like, why?" Apple. I know they go crazy for it.
People love it. I haven't had it yet, but I've heard really good things. Even like my beer lovers are like, "That's a good beer."
Really?
It's kind of like the Shock Top pretzel. Last year I didn't even bring in the Shock Top pretzel because it's just Shock Top's just too commercial for us.
Yeah,
and it doesn't fall into the craft category.
Right.
But
you can
pretzel,
buy it at Food City,
their pretzel is something special.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would like
we'll
that
bring
too.
that in. We're probably not going to bring in the normal Shock Top, but if they put out something special, we'll bring it in.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of people too maybe have this idea around beer of like if you earlier I mentioned like an orange cream beer. I don't want to mislead anybody and be like it tastes exactly like ice cream. No. It's still beer. It's still beer. Yeah. That's one thing I think my girlfriend can get swept into sometimes because she's not a big alcohol drinker, but she likes the idea of it if we're having a nice dinner or something. Yeah. And she'll be like, she'll say to me something like, there's a peach IPA. She doesn't know what IPA means, so she's just like, "Is that going to taste like peaches?" And I'm like, "Sort of." Like, it's hard to explain. You gotta like the product, and then the peach is there too, a little bit.
Kind of like with the PBJ mixtape from Zool, as we mentioned earlier. It's like eating a Crustable.
Is it really?
It is a very unique beer.
Yeah,
I don't, you know.
That would be
sour.
Interesting.
They call it a sour, but it's not sour at all. It drinks more like a soda.
Really? Yeah. And people love it.
People love it. Yeah. But you're getting the peanut butter, you're getting the jelly.
Yeah.
So those are the beers that if somebody does come in and I don't like beer, you know, or what they're thinking of is their husband's Budweiser.
Right.
You know, that's not. You know,
and you're like, I don't like that either.
I don't like that either. Yeah. And he might drink 20 a day, but that doesn't make him a beer guy.
Right. Yeah, that makes him an alcoholic. That's a different thing.
That's different.
That's two other things.
That's around the corner.
Yeah. I do think sometimes even with myself, you know, like at a show, usually for some reason, and I don't know who made this decree, the unofficial beer of stand-up comedy is Miller Lite. I don't know why. Every time you're at a show in a comics cooler, it's Miller Lite, and I do it too, probably because it's cheap and universal. But I do think that there's a certain amount of like exposure where it's like unless you've given it a try, unless you've gone to Cascade and sat down and sampled 40 taps, how do you even know?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for people to try a stout or a sour.
Yeah.
They're not going to take a chance and just buy a couple at the store.
Right.
So I do. You're right to give people that an area where they can try it.
And smaller pours. And if I don't like that one, it's okay.
It's okay.
Do the next one.
What you like. It's the same thing with when I look at wine. It either tastes good or it doesn't.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. And it's people's palates are so different. I always compare it to like some people for dessert they want a German chocolate cake or they want key lime pie.
Right.
You know, so both desserts.
Yeah.
But it's two different.
Is that a way, if you have a customer in Cascade who's, let's just say it's their first time in the door and you're trying to get a feel for them, do you go off of things like that? Do you go like, how do you like your coffee? How do you like your steak cook? How, like what are some indicators?
We definitely want, tell us what you like.
Yeah.
And we'll try and bounce off that. Some people, they don't know what they like.
Yeah.
And they're starting from scratch.
Is that exciting to you?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Now we'll start on one side of the spectrum and the other.
Right.
And we'll, is it more like the German chocolate cake or is it more like the key lime?
Yeah.
And then we'll fine tune that.
That is fun.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
And that's part of that education and educating people. Like there's people that never had craft beer that are now regulars,
Right.
You know, and that used to drive them bananas that we would run out of something.
Yeah.
And that's half the fun, because
Yeah.
we're going to put something else fun behind it.
That is fun.
yeah.
Yeah. I will say I don't have a good like gauge of what my taste is necessarily. Just ignorance. I've not been around it enough. The only one semi-local that I can tell you that I love though is the Blue and Gold from Johnson City Brewing Company.
Johnson City Brewing, Eric
That
Latham, big shout out.
Blueberry Gold Ale. Oh my God.
He'd be another great person for the podcast.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to. That
awesome.
I mean, that is just what a product. I can't get enough
their
of that
peaches.
stuff.
We keep their peaches on our favorites.
It's
and
great.
for it to be a local brewery.
Yeah.
Because you can go to the source.
Yeah.
And for it to stay as a favorite at Cascade, it
Yeah,
says something.
we've
about
done. So we did Don't Tell at their Boones Creek location at the house out there. They have a garage separate, and we did a Don't Tell there real early on. And that house, Haley lives out in Jonesboro, my girlfriend, right off of Boones Creek Road. So it's like occasionally when I'm driving by, I'll be like, I'll just stop in there and have a couple of cans. You know, it's not a big deal. It's right there. That's a great. You're right. Like that's such an asset that it's right here, and people don't know
putting
about
out good
it.
beer. He's taking chances. He's doing different stuff. Not getting lost in his own lack of peripheral or having blinders on, and
Right.
you know, wanting to try
Right.
different things. And
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I
an
buy a lot of
interesting
beer that I don't
balance.
like.
Do you?
You know, and that's just like a brewer has to make beer that it's not his.
Yeah.
No, I should say he doesn't like. It's just not his favorite.
Right. It's for someone else.
It's for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one thing is there one thing on your tap, and maybe not currently, but over the last 6 years, is there one thing that has really been popular that you look at it and go, I mean, great, but I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
There may be 100 of them, but
yeah, there's. I mean, like I said, everybody's palate's so different. There's people for every beer that we've had. It's somebody's favorite,
Right.
You know, like
yeah.
you had said, you enjoying the pickle beer. Somebody's going to spit that out.
Yeah.
Somebody's not going to be able to drink it.
A lot of people-
but it's somebody's favorite.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I always say like that brewer designed this recipe, tried it, brewed it,
yeah.
got it packaged, distributed it. Like it's popular somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody liked it. Somebody was proud of it when it left out left out of the brewery. But it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a bubblegum IPA that's probably my least favorite beer that we've ever had.
Really?
But there were a couple people that
I'm imagining what it tastes like, and I don't like it either. I think that's not for me.
I wondered how did that make it out of the brewery?
Right.
How did this?
Did it
who
taste at
signed
all
off
like
on this?
bubblegum medicine? You know, the old bubblegum
Yeah,
flavoring.
it was that generic bubblegum with
I can't do it,
a
man.
bitter IPA taste.
No, I'm out.
It was awful.
I'm out.
It's it's a little much. I've also learned, like, I love marshmallows, but I've also learned that I don't really like marshmallows in beer. And there's people that bourbon same way. They like the bourbon, they like their beer, but they don't want a bourbon barrel aged beer.
Sure. That's an
then,
interesting one.
And on the same turn, there's people that just want that's their favorite beer.
Yeah.
It's the bourbon barrel aged.
That's special too, and especially to have 40 different taps. I mean, that's a
I
lot
could take
of
some
options.
chances.
Yeah.
I could take some chances.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always feel like, our smallest keg is going to have probably about between 30 and 40 pints, depending on how we're pouring and how it's pouring. So I can usually find 30 people, or not find. There's going to be 30 people that are going to say, "Let me try it. I got to try the bubble gum."
The bubble gum.
I got to try it.
One thing I will say too that I've almost every time I've been in Cascade, and usually I'm the type of person where I'll go up to the bartender and I'll go, I don't know, just give me something, and they're like, what do you like? And I'll say 2 or 3 things, and I let them decide. I trust them.
Yeah.
They work there.
We're trained professionals.
I trust you.
We're trained professionals.
So one thing that's happened to me many times, I think last time I was there, it's been a while. Last time I was there, we had some kind of I want to say it was like a strawberry lemonade, strawberry something. One word that I use a lot when I'm at Cascade is dangerous. I go, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I say that where I go, I could drink 9 of those and not even know it because it tastes so good.
I love it.
Dangerous
love
is a
it.
word I use a lot when I'm at Cascade.
That's awesome. They are, and they can be.
Yeah, they can
You
be.
gotta. We try and watch it and
Yeah.
watch other people, keep an eye on them. But like
Sure.
I said, that's not Not really an issue, but I definitely see what you're saying.
Not
We've
the
got
place
that
for
hard Italian soda and some of the ciders. It'd be hard to distinguish alcohol being in it.
Right. Yeah. Cider's an interesting one too, because we've done quite a few shows down at Gypsy Circus over the years, and I think that I see a lot of people really embrace that product, and I see a lot of people say that's not for me. Yeah. That's another area where it's like it's just their taste.
And there's so many palate ranges there too. There's dry cider, which would be like a white wine, and then there's the sweet, where it's an aperitif after dinner. Yeah, more of a cordial.
What's the Queen of Swords? I think is
Queen of Swords. That's their flagship.
I've had that one many times.
Traditional.
I think that's good. I'm so, this conversation, we could go on forever because I'm so ignorant to it, but I do think it's interesting. I do want to ask though, before we wrap up and get you out of here, what's coming up at Cascade that you're excited about? And then what are some bigger ideas you have for the future that maybe aren't quite in motion yet?
Well, this year we're going to start doing a comedy night once a month.
Okay.
On a Thursday, once a month. So we've got 2 comedians and a host coming in. I think we've got you coming in on May 7th.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the date.
May 7th.
Going to be fun. Liam Nelson.
Tall.
Not Liam Neeson. Liam Nelson.
Real tall.
7-footer. Going to be headlining.
Huge.
So fun.
He'll
He's
have
so
to duck
funny.
on stage.
Great dude.
He is great.
So that's real fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That'll be something different. We don't normally do ticketed events.
Okay.
And so it'll be something different for us. We're going to flip the house around, put the comics up front.
Oh, wow.
Do some different things, make it special.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. And also, I'm going to try to do once a month a tap takeover where we get a brewery to come in. We get 4 or 5 of their beers. In return, they're giving us beers that nobody else is getting.
Right.
That's the caveat.
That's
to have
awesome.
that tap over. I'll buy 5 kegs, but 3 of those need to be special for here.
Yeah.
So we're going to do one of those once a month, and then we do open mics. It's been awesome seeing people come to these open mics over the years and getting better and getting out and booking shows.
Sure.
And that's started as first time they've been out and played in public.
Yeah.
And now they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And the
That's
talent
huge.
that comes out. I was there last night, and to see them networking and the camaraderie that they have.
Yeah.
Is awesome, and to see them getting better and helping.
Is that a
each
mixed
other.
mic too? That one that you're doing now, is that music and everything?
It's been mainly music.
Okay.
We've talked about we've had people call and want to do like spoken word and some comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. We just never have had the.
It's hard to mix.
Yeah.
It changes the vibe.
people are in there that kind of used to this.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Not opposed to it, and we've had that open mic in the past. I'd like to try to start doing that again.
Yeah.
So it's I may add another open mic, but. Yeah, we've got a Feel Good Fest coming up in April. That's our 420 Earth Day event.
Gotcha.
That's going to be fun. We've got Breadfruit and Post Bop Revival playing that day.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's on a Monday, so everybody will have all their other events on a Saturday.
Right.
We're traditionalists here at Cascade, so we want to be on the 420.
On the day.
The day. It's important.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
And
I can see a lot of people embracing that too. That it's on the day. It's like it's more traditional in the truest sense of the word.
There's going to be other events going on that weekend on Friday and Saturday. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we'll be on Monday.
Yeah.
So it'll be easy to remember.
Perfect.
Yeah. 420 on 420. It's just feel excited with 2026 is getting off to a good start.
Yeah.
Good beers, good people, good times.
That's good.
So glad you had me today.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for coming. I mean, I appreciate it. I do want to say for any events you have coming up or anything, the website, any social media, it's all just Cascade Draft House. Is that right?
CascadeDraftHouse.com.
Okay.
We've got Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
My generation, it seems to be more active on Facebook.
Sure.
I've tried the Instagram route, and we're on there, but it's not a lot of traction.
It's hard.
But we try and get our name out there as best we can, and teamwork and, good community partners.
Yeah, and that's another part of this show too that we kind of touched on is like obviously it's a little selfish because I always say it would be weird for me to text you and go, hey man, you want to come to my apartment and chat for 90 minutes? That's weird. But if I go, you want to do my podcast? There's lights and a microphone. Then we can do it. But really, a lot of it is selfishly motivated. I love it. I love the conversation and learning about things. But I think maybe more than that, there's who knows how many people, hopefully a lot, that are going to click this link and see this episode and learn not only about the business or about the craft beer world, but about you as a human.
Absolutely.
And that I like.
I said, we get that. Podcasts are a great place to have those conversations that you wouldn't normally, a little bit more in depth. Wouldn't normally ask the questions, or I wouldn't go on. I'm a man of few words, typically. I wouldn't normally go on telling these stories this long. I get bored with myself.
Also, going on the news, they got to cut a commercial. They got to do all these things. With you and me, it's just us in this room for 90 minutes.
I can do a sound clip on the news for a minute and a half.
Quick promo. We're done. Sure. Thank you, Spence. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening, supporting the show. Make sure to follow on Instagram. We're going to get those numbers up for you. On Instagram. Everything will be linked in the description, too. So
awesome.
they can click
Thank you
it there.
to that.
Thank you, man. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.